Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from Life of Crafting, and today I'm just going to run through. I had bought recently, when I was at a craft weekend away, a card making workshop kit from close to my heart, and unfortunately they just recently had announced they're going to close their business. So unless you can start finding things like this on the secondary market, there won't be any of these future card kits coming. And this is the first card kit I've done of theirs. This is from the Christmas season of 2022. But when I was there, she had one and it was marked down really cheap. And I think it was like 20 bucks. And in it, you got the makings of the 16 cards that I have here. But what I had really wanted was the stamp and die set. They call them thin cuts from this freshly baked series. I've got the stamp and die that they made that's also part of the same series, but it has different stamps and different dies, and this coordinates with it. And I really wanted the little chocolate chip cookie, so I figured this was an extra bonus for 20 bucks. I couldn't beat it. So you got 4 sheets of their pattern paper that was part of this collection, and I don't remember how many sheets of cardstock. And I've gone through and cut them according to, they give you like a little cutting guide in here. I really had not worked with their papers before, and I wasn't aware their cardstock seems to have like a light and a dark side. So it was kind of a little bit confusing at first to figure out what they were trying to get at. And what they were doing was they were putting on the left side the paper they wanted you to have facing up, and the paper side on the down was supposed to be the one on the right. So after I figured it out, it was pretty easy to go through. They told you how to lay out the assorted die cuts. Some of it I had to think through. I mean, I was pretty easily able to figure out that, like, here I wanted to cut my 1 inch first, then, you know, just kind of reading it from left to right. So when I first saw this, I thought the cards were looking cute, maybe a little flat, but they looked cute. And I thought, like I said, for 20 bucks, I can't beat it, right? I have to tell you, I really am impressed after I got through this. There was a little bit more to the kits and the cards than I had originally anticipated. So I'll go through some of them. I did have to use other inks. I don't have close to my heart inks, and I can tell you what I used. This one here, I have not put the gems on yet. I'll go through and do the gems at the same time because I didn't want to use these up and then not have them. These are some glitter gems, they call them, and it looks like there's 2 sizes. There's glitter like suspended in them, and they do have a 3D texture to them. So, like I said, I never really used close to my heart products before this. I was rather pleasantly surprised at how I felt that these card kits went. So this was the polka dot paper. You basically used these little strips that I'm putting these gems now on. This would be a great one like when you have those scraps. I thought this design that they did was really cute. This was a die that you used half of, and they had you cut like 1 for each one. I just did it and cut it in half. So I probably could have gotten some more out of these kits in regards to using some of the supplies than just the 16. I went with just doing what they said. Had I saw what I wanted to do in the end results, I probably would do them a little bit different. Some of this I was supposed to use foam tape, but I really did not. I'll be honest, I didn't read the instructions themselves. The first couple of ones that I wanted to use the instructions for, the questions I was asking didn't seem to be in the instructions. I just kind of winged it, I'll be honest. And I think they came out really cute. So one of the things I would like to do is add some stuff, a layer and another white insert, because I feel like these are just kind of light. I like my cardstock a little heavier than that. But that's the first one. I did use Chip Sapphire. It was Speckled Egg ink from Tim Holtz. I used his regular distressed ink. on there, and you just had to kind of, you're supposed to use a 1/4 round sponge. I'll be honest, I haven't bought those round like artist sponge. I kind of, after I got out of the world of Stampin' Up and started seeing what other people are using, discovered like the finger dauber and the bristle brushes and stuff. I don't take the sponge kind of thing to it anymore. So I did find that their stamps really had to go into like a MISTI. I really had to do several stamps on these to get the color to completely cover and create the words. I know that has something to do with the type of ink you're using, plus the material used in the clear stamps. And I guess what I was trying to use didn't necessarily equate over to the best of doing that. This was a card that I messed up. What was supposed to be done on this design is I was supposed to use this piece that I put on the inside as the front and do all this stamping and stuff on this white piece. And I didn't realize it until after I had them all stamped, of course. And I figured, you know what, I'll just put it inside. This was the extra heart border that I had, so I decided to add them inside. And I used Gina K's, I think it's craft ink on the lighter piece, and the darker is the icing on the cake from Catherine Pooler. And I liked the dies and how the straw kind of has a slit in it. I thought that was really nice. I couldn't figure out at first what these pink things they had you cut were going to be. Had I known that, I probably would have done some of the fishtails on there before I cut them into these like little 3/4 and 1/2 inch size pieces of paper. And I don't do fishtails very evenly, so I use an old Stampin' Up punch that does the fishtailing for you. So those are on there. I am supposed to be adding some gems on these. There's supposed to be like one here, one here, and one here, it looks like. So, like I said, I thought it was really cute. They do have a third saying that says something like, "I'm sorry you're feeling so crummy." I use these in a retail business from when people make purchases for me. My husband will put one in the package as like a thank you. I really don't do anything other than thank you, Christmas, and birthday. I just find that it's, you know, the people tend to like need those cards more than anything else. So I just try to do my cards to those themes. So I do like how easy they come off. They stick on. Like I said, these are nice. I wish I had discovered this company a little bit earlier in my card making. This is a design where you're supposed to use their pink ink on here to do the chip parade. I opted to just go with the same brown because I just didn't feel like it was adding enough. I am looking here now. I do believe they did a little bit of ink behind it like they did on the chip parade over here. And I'm just discovering this now as I'm on here, and I'm like, oh well. So this does have some gems. I was wondering when they were going to use more of the smaller gems because I feel like I'm going to run out of the larger ones. This is why I didn't want to do these gems beforehand, because I felt like by the time I did all my accenting of these pieces, there really wasn't going to be anything left for you to kind of see. And as you can see, like, these are easily coming off and going on. You have to use an embellishment wand with other brands, but these are coming off very easily. They're sticking. They're not feeling like they're going to, like, come loose. Some of them I do like to add extra liquid glue behind them. It probably wouldn't hurt, but I feel like there's enough tackiness to them that they are sticking down. So that is the third design, and I had made a mistake and cut the fourth design. Oh, I have them under here. I'm like, where did they go? I had mistakenly picked up these pieces of paper, and I couldn't figure out why they weren't fitting on here, and I cut them in half before realizing I needed them for here. So this one is actually pieced together just right here. It should be like one continuous piece, and I had to just put them in here as pieces. So unfortunate. Same thing here with the colors and inks. I probably would like to do something inside of these because, again, they do feel like they're a little lightweight. And then the fourth design was this one, and I felt like there wasn't a lot of instruction. You used the stamp that you put the chocolate chips on for to stamp this out. I did that in that speckled egg ink from the Distress ink, not the oxide, the regular Distress ink from Tim Holtz for that. And again, I really had to use the Misty to get the plate down and get it saturated to, you know, show up the way it is. Otherwise it would have been very, this one's not quite as dark. But again, very cute. This is the full length of the border. Yeah, I didn't have to cut any of that. So that gives you an idea how long that heart border was. I think that's cute. I can use it again in the future. I liked how that went. I like some of their colors. I didn't, like I said, have much experience with their papers before. And they are putting some of the gems here, here, and here. So by the time I'm done, again, I am not going to have many. But like I said, for $20, I felt like this was a bargain. Love to hear if you, you know, would you have bought this kit? Would you, you know, have passed this up? Do you find these kind of things pretty regularly? I'd love to know if you are, because like I said, I have other kits that I would like of theirs, but I have so many in the wings waiting to get put together that I've really not allowed myself to try and buy too much more, especially recently. But I have, you know, some paper scraps, but other than that, this kit was pretty well used up. I have, you know, maybe 2 strips of these gems left. I will get to keep this, which is nice. You can always use gold. And, you know, I do have these sketches now that I can use for other papers, which I thought were nice. Hope this explains what their card making workshops are. And if you have one, get it out. It's great. I want to say I did these 16 cards and all of this in probably about 4 hours, I would guess, from everything from cutting it to just even trying to figure out the ink colors and everything. So if you have their inks, you're going to be ahead of the game. Appreciate your time. Love some thumbs up if you're getting some inspiration. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.